first room. I'm not showing Linda because Linda's not quite in a state to be shared yet. A beautiful room for our first room. And a lovely summer's morning. And the birds are tweeting. And the mountains are mountaining. And it's beautiful. It's a very nice hotel. We ate about 3 o'clock in the morning we actually arrived at the hotel, which is a bit of a shock to the system as we've got to actually leave for our first trip at 8 o'clock. Linda got caught in the door. I missed it on the video. Oh dear. Marvellous. Very nice. And all these mountains all around. Very pleasant. There's the infamous cat. Apparently Linda was stroking the cat and that's when she had her injury.
Now, of course, we have many neighboring countries. Our biggest neighbor here in Turkey, the longest frontier that we have, let's say, is with Greece, because the whole Aegean Sea is a frontier with Greece, and to the north also we have from the land the frontier of Greece, and close to our frontier with Turkey is the city of Thessaloniki. Perhaps you've heard of that. It's the city to the north of Greece. And if you continue...
A little bit misty, but nice and sunny. And warm.
St. Nicholas. So that will be our first visit together. So meanwhile, on our way there, let me try to give you an idea of the historical timeline here in Anatolia, because it's actually quite complicated. It starts about 4,000, 5,000 years ago, and the first civilization to live in this territory is called the Hittite. Perhaps you've heard of the Hittite. I'm sure if you've been to Egypt, your tour guide must have talked about the Hittite, because they were the enemy number one of the Egyptians. Basically, when you look at the Mediterranean, East Mediterranean basin, to the north you had the Hittite Empire, and to the south you had the Egyptian Empire. Now, when you look at Turkey, there's actually... So when you receive the letter, you would have to break the outer shell of that tablet to be able to read the letter. And perhaps this is the reason why still today we use envelopes, we send letters in our modern postal system. So that's the Mediterranean, ladies and gentlemen. So the Hittite Empire existed roughly about the 13th century before Christ, and then there is two different empires that move into Anatolia, and one of them is the Urartu Empire, which is to the east of Turkey, and another one is the Phrygian Empire to the west of Turkey. The Urartu had their capital here, right next to the lake of Van. It was called Tushpa. And the Phrygians had their liberty, the hat of the King Midas, the Phrygian hat, which was later used during the French Revolution. The hat, to give you an idea, is the same hat that Napoleon Bonaparte used to wear in France. Yes. So after the Phrygian and the Urartu, you have the ancient Greek civilization that begins in this area, roughly about the 10th century before Christ. And this is actually a quite important time in history because, well, in the ancient Greek periods, people start to build very big cities. And when they start to build cities, each city silent on its.
We call it a lagoon as well, don't we?
And
Yeah.
get the camera away from me.
Yeah. Church of St Nicholas.
Oh, yes, it's possible, yeah. There are ATMs where you retrieve some.
All we got straight here.
Well, I tried to live here in the city of Myra. We believe about the 4th century of our time. Now, the 4th century of our time is quite important because it is the acceptance of the Roman Empire of the Christian religion. Constantine the Great, when he comes to power, as you know, breaks down the Roman Empire into 2 different sections. But, in those years, they didn't call themselves Byzantines, they called themselves Romans. It was East Roma for them, and the capital was the city of Constantinople. And Constantine the Great, to give a certain order in the Christian religion, well, put together, you can see it on the map if you check it out. And well, what they did is, well, they brought together important Christian philosophers, and they came together, and as you might imagine, as a representative of the region of Myra, Saint Nicholas went to this council. Now, in this council, of course, there were different interpretations of the Bible that were put into question, and there was a lot of discussion about which one was the real one. So here you can see some of these frescoes that I talked to you about. Just as you go down the stairs, just on your right-hand side, you can see in red color, that's a representation of the Virgin Mary. Ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, that one on the side wall there. And over on this side, there is an angel that is represented. I don't know if you can notice. You have what we call the last prayer, or the scene of the Deesis, where you will see Jesus in the middle, and one side the Virgin Mary, and on the other side you have Saint John the Baptist that is represented. Now, this section, funeral area, or Paraklesium, the Byzantine churches, the Orthodox area of the church, they make a separate room for it. So we'll walk through there now. Forgive is Adam. So you can see him holding the hand of Adam on this fresco here. And then afterwards you have the crucifixion of Jesus here. And you can see the face of the Virgin Mary in the few pieces that are left. And then finally you have the death of the Virgin Mary. And you can see that here in this fresco there is a baby that is represented, that is being held by two angels. The baby in the fresco, or the Byzantine iconography, represents the soul. So basically the angels have come to take the soul of the Virgin Mary and bring her up to the heavens, where the door of heaven is represented there in a circle on the top.
They knew already where the heavens were.
Cross that is represented on the top of the door. In Europe, generally, you know this cross as a Maltese cross, because the distance between all the points are the same. We will see this very commonly here in Anatolia. And here on this side, you can see the cross of St. Nicholas, with the anchor at the bottom. That is represented here on this marble piece. And of course, as years have passed by, the level of the ground has gone up. So this courtyard, which used to be the courtyard of the church, has gone down a little bit. It's like underground. But basically, it was the courtyard of the church. And you would enter the church through these doors. So 1, 2, 3. 3 doors to enter the main prayer area. Of course, it is in relationship. There is a symbolism of the Trinity. So let's walk in, and as you walk in, you can see there are very nice frescoes again. Now, from here until, if you look up, it's the original building from the 4th, 5th century. It's a Byzantine architecture. You can see the bricks that are used behind the frescoes that have fallen down. But the top of it, the roof itself, and those few walls on the sides, that is the renovation that was done by the Tsar Nikolai II towards the end of the 19th century. So the original roof is not like this. In Byzantine architecture, the roof will always be a dome. And then later the Russians renovated it in their own architectural way, let's say. Now, I don't know if you know this, but when you have arches in the middle, that is the most important thing. And notice here in the main prayer area, there's 3 arches, 3 doors here, 3 doors there, 3 doors there. So the Trinity is repeated all the way up to the 2nd floor. Now this being the main prayer area, front of it. So people believe that that was the coffin of St. Nicholas. There is no proof, technically, but it is a question of belief. Now, if you're in our coach, so you have 3 power units now, take pictures, but please don't use flash on the frescoes. So in 20 minutes, we'll be back in our coach. This is the original.
There's our Saint Nick himself. There's his church.
Towards Kekova. Kekova, that's where the sunken city of Simena is. And we'll take a small boat to do a cruise on the Mediterranean. It should take us from here to there in about half an hour. So,
That's the ancient harbour of Myra. A lovely rock formation. Yeah. Incredible.
Oh, edited, Tom. Edited out. You don't listen, don't you?
Oh yeah.
you can see this beautiful Kekova. Truly a corner of paradise on the Mediterranean. Basically, just in front of you, in the back, all the way in the back, that's an island. And actually that island used to be connected to the mainland. And there was a city of Simena between the mainland and that island that you see in the back. And then after the earthquake, roughly the 6th century of our time, this island, the connection between the mainland and the island sunk under the water.
Here we have the castle tombs. Rather nice. And here you can see where the town was buried underneath the sea. Still bits showing above the surface. So there was a whole town and it was buried underneath the sea. Goats being driven along the field.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we're approaching
Oh yeah.
ancient city of Santos.
In the center of the city is the view that you have. As you can see, it's quite large, and this isn't just by coincidence. I mean, people in the past, they would always use this kind of spots where you have a very large view of the region. The reason for this is very simple. It's for protection. Because the larger view you have, the wider angle of a panorama you have, it is the biggest, specifically, an Assyrian colonies. We believe that this region, the Lycians, during the time came here during the time of the Hittites, and they were. We're not sure exactly, either Assyrians or Sumerians or a little bit of both. And the way colonies worked at that time is they would come here, they would settle down, and they would Iliad, because actually the original name of Troy is Ilios. As you know, many of the ancient Greece, almost every
Were to pass through to Dalaman, because on the other side of the tunnel is Dalaman. That's the international airport. And the way that this works is that it is a private initiative, so it's about 4.2. So £1, 4.2 Turkish lira. Counts the ancient.
Now we're going on a little boat trip.
I take your picture of you. If you don't like, you don't have to fight. There is no.
Coming up on the outside now like a rail
There's all the tubes up in the rock. Quite a number of them.
Segregate themselves. Is that where they do? Well, we went up extension and the world's big and he's a young lad, you know what I mean? Yeah. And even he's something like real
flotilla. We're all heading towards the beach now. The freshwater side, and this is where it meets the saltwater. The tide's just coming in. And you can see where the tide would be coming up, probably up to here. So this is looking out towards the Mediterranean, so all the sea on that side, and on the other side is where we've come in the little boats, and this is all our facilities, so somewhere to have coffee and whatever, and our toilets.
Turkish Republic as an administrative system is a republic. So the administration is very similar to France. As you know, France has 100 departments. So Turkey has 81 different departments, and one of these departments is Muğla. Another one was Antalya. You can notice if you look at the first two numbers of the license plates, they represent the department where they are registered. So, for example, our bus starts with 07. It's for Antalya. 34 is Istanbul. 06 is Ankara, and so on and so forth. So Muğla is the big city where all the small towns that we saw on the road, and cities like Marmaris, which is a little bit, and you'll see that for those of you that have seen Cappadocia, it looks a little bit like Cappadocia, but it is a special type of erosion on the stones, and the geologists say it is due to the magnetism inside the stone that it is eroded in this fashion. So you'll see it's like if it was made by hand, one stone on top of each other, and every single stone is kind of like circular or round. The array of different agricultural products that are grown here. Among them, well, you've seen the orange trees and things like that, but next to that there is a very large variety. Hazelnut, for example. Turkey produces 80% of the world production of hazelnuts. Tea.
It's not anywhere near
Strange formation of rocks, apparently caused by magnetism in the rocks. Looks as if one rock is put on top of another by hand. It goes in layers, doesn't it? Looks like a work of art, doesn't it? It doesn't really look like rock.
Also, in very big letters DSI, which means Turkish Devlet Su İşleri. So that's the department that takes care of water in Turkey. It's down there. In Turkey they have put together power stations that use the steam to make electricity. So it's an alternative form of making electricity. So on the right hand side a little bit further you'll see a steam power station. We call it a geothermal power station.
Sun sinks in the west. There's a thermal power station.
Over on the right.
No, you've ruined it. I don't know what that is. Someone's burning his rubbish in his garden. Yeah.
Sometimes it's a hard. Sometimes it's a
We have steam. We have earthquakes to us.
You can see one of these stations on the left-hand side. That's the steam that is coming out, and how the steam is channeled through these pipes. But there's one on the right-hand side, all the way in the back also.
Brilliant. Free energy. Angela Riffin has spoken.
Yes, you say it.
Wish you were here. Greece in the distance. It's more than 3 miles away.
That was that huge place. Oh,
All the way the men all,
Huh?
the men all congregate together.
Yeah.
the coffee house to play backgammon.
Do women not go into those?
No, women have to stay at home and do the work.
Even what about the young girls aren't like that, are they?
Well, it depends how traditional they are.
Oh, I see.
Well, he texted.
Very pretty.
And tomorrow we're gonna start our day by visiting Ephesus. So we'll start with Ephesus in the morning, and then afterwards we'll visit the foundations only is left of the Artemis temple, the Artemision, and then we'll visit the Isa Bey Mosque, and then from that point on, those that have purchased the £110 package, they will be. No, they're not in the side. They're separate. Yeah, we'll go with the bus there.
From what we call the Acropolis. This means the high city. And at the time when this was an ancient Greek city, the Acropolis was the place that the people came. It was the administrative area. Oops, I'm sorry. And basically this space that you see just beyond this walking path where you have those trees in the back, that was the political agora. So that would be just like we saw in Xanthos, the space where people would come to vote. At the time when there was democracy in the ancient Greek times. And Androcles was looking for a place to build his city. And he went, naturally, in those years, people to see their future, to see their destiny, would go to the temple of Apollon. And in the temple of Apollon, you had oracles that would come to see you. They would talk with you for a while, and then they would go into a separate room and go structures. And so this is the entry of the city. So at that time, you have to imagine when you are traveling from one place to another, either you're walking or you're coming with a horse. In both cases, you get dirty. If you're more distance than 20 miles. So the Romans don't like that. So if you are dirty and you enter into the city, they say go to the Roman bath first, take a bath, and then there's no spring water here in this region, but there is a spring water in the mountains behind us, and there is actually an aqueduct that brings the water into the city. It's about 12 miles long, roughly, and that's one of the specialties of the Romans. You know, they carry water on these water bridges into the city, and you've probably seen as you walk through there are pipes that used to bring the water into the city, and there are more examples of those ceramic pipes that we have. So when you look at this road, you'll notice that there are columns on both sides of the road. This is how we know that this used to be the main road. And this main road crosses the city. Have a main street, if you like. As you can see, it has been carved, and there are like a rectangle, and there are small circles that are built. Archaeologists tell us that this is actually kind of like the ancestor of the backgammon.
Oh.
So people would actually play
Yeah.
to pass their time here. And you'll see other examples of this as we go through. You can see the head of the columns that are represented over here. And, well, you can see that this animal here, this is a taureau. The taureau, at the beginning it was a cult that people prayed to, and later on, with the beginning of the mother goddess, the idea of mother goddess, the bull becomes a representative of power. So that's to show you the power of the Roman Empire. Basically, you would have all these bulls on top of these columns.
I'm paying tax now. You know.
Siz kalktı. Daha var değil mi?
Moggy. The hungry Moggy.
First few, first few steps is the original stone, is the original Odeon that was discovered under the earth and was taken out. And then the rest of it, the top stairs, have been renovated afterwards. But as you can see, the renovation isn't very good. The reason for that is that because the Turkish people are not good at renovation. It's because this site has been an archaeological site for 120 years. So 120 years ago, the technology of reconstruction was not as it is today. And so therefore, you can see that the top has been renovated in a very simple way. At the bottom you can see what it used to look like, and you'll notice that there are foots of lion on the side of the stairs.
Yeah.
That is a symbol, very specific, that it was a Roman structure. And we know that this used to have a triangular wooden roof. We know that because there is no drainage system in the structure. I mean, if it didn't have a, the seat under you is carved to the inside. So normally it should be straight like it is here, but the traditional one, it is carved, you see, towards the inside, and thus you can have more people sitting in the same space compared to if it were straight down. Would be when they were listening to music outside of its use as a parliament. So let's continue. Ladies and gentlemen, in front of you, this structure that we see here is a small temple of Artemis. It's a small temple of Artemis. At the same time, it is known as the temple of the city, because the people of Ephesus believed that Artemis used to protect the people of Ephesus. And thus, therefore, in this high city, there was a small temple that was built for it. And right next to the left-hand side, you can see these two big columns. That's where the building of City Hall was. So the City Hall building over there. Now, of course, the thing that we notice here are the different types of pillars. Now, this type, where you have these circles that are twirling inside each other, well, that is what we call an Ionian style color. And, like me, that's the Doric style. So the Doric style, the Ionian style, and if you look between these two, Ionian, which is the Corinthian style. So these are the three different types of columns that were used in the ancient Greek period. Doric, Ionian, and Corinthian. So we are able, Ionia is Ephesus. And so this column with that circling or the twirling on the sides was actually invented.
Look at this, isn't this wonderful?
It's all wonderful.
The actual walking on the spot here. Where they would have walked.
The place where they were playing, what's it, Mahjong.
Yeah.
It's got me, it's given me enough to think about for a few days.
Yes. Yeah.
Some reason to pull
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So there'll be something underneath.
And here you have a panel that shows you a processional way, as they say. It's a religious road, if you like. And I don't know if you notice on the map, we're just at the bottom of it, where there's the blue spot with an eye in blue color, somewhere over there. And you can see on the right-hand top side, that's where the Temple of Artemis is. And so, from the Temple of Artemis into the city from the bottom, and going all through the main street and going back to the Temple of Artemis, that there is a statue. This is a statue of the goddess Artemis.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So you'll notice that she has multiple breasts, because she is the goddess of fertility. And so therefore, hole in the middle here, okay? Now, and there are rings. Well, there used to be one over there and one over here also, so equal distance from each other. And here, you used to have the Olympic flame.
Oh.
That was held by, with chains to these hooks on the four sides, and it would be burning 24 hours, non-stop. And so it was kind of like a lantern. It had the most number of gold medals, would be the capital of that province. That's how they chose the capital. and so therefore the strongest city, naturally. With the bag is the photographer, and the holes that are made. This is made specifically so that you don't slip on rainy days.
No press. Slightly nice, the weather. The facilities very nice. Let's investigate.
An internet connection.
Oh,
No internet connection.
huh? Here's our little resident mermaid. Very nice. Very pretty. Tennis courts. Outside eating area. Very picturesque. Yellow brick road time again. Linda's in there in the lounge. No one in the pool. Get to eroticism. Very nice. Little children's area. This is lovely. Own private little beach. Very nice. Little sun trap down here. Just steps down to the beach. And it is a beach as opposed to sand, but very fine pebbles. But there is a lift. I'll have to ask Linda and maybe she can It's very pretty and very hot. I would think down here about 25 degrees. It certainly feels like it. Lovely. A little bit of a climb. Helps to burn off the beef burger. It's a lovely shot of our hotel. Very pretty. Me and myself sitting on the bench. And a little group of rather nice horses a bit further down. I'm out of breath. I've just climbed up from the beach.
Learn your English. Yeah? Some of you even said, well, it has an American accent. Yeah? So, let me try to explain. Well, I was born in Istanbul, in the big city. And in the 1970s, so in 1975 approximately, and so those years in Turkey were not so bright, especially towards the end of the 60s, the 68 to 72. As you know, there were student movements all over the world, basically, but the movements here in Turkey, they went a little too far. So there were two fractions, left wing and right wing, and well, under them they're growing strawberries.
Snowy mountains.
Now in a few moments we'll arrive to the parking area, the bus parking area. And there is a very interesting system here, is that we leave our bus in the parking area and there's a kind of another bus that brings us from the parking.
Times are hard now. We have the tractor to pull us.
No, no, the cat's done.
Yeah, I've got one. Little kitties. Cats are covered. As is your head.
We will begin, and this will be again the point where you will come back to. So, just where we are, just behind you over there, this is written Aphrodisias Musée. This is the museum. So, therefore, all artifacts that have been found on this site, on the ancient site of the city, they are all, you can see them all inside the museum. So it is part of our visit at the same time. And there's a tree, behind the tree you can see there's a structure. This is what we call a Sebastopol. Sebastopol. Now Sebastopol is very interesting. In the time of the Roman Empire, it is the building where the Roman Empire will make his propaganda. And basically on the walls of the Sebastopol you will see the engraving of the achievements of the Roman Empire. And so most of those, that section that you see over there has been renovated. So you can see as it was originally, but not all the pieces. The rest of the pieces are inside the museum. In the back section you can see all the different events that used to be explained to the people. And the section that has been renovated that you see from here, that is the conquest of London, of the Roman Empire.
Londinium.
London, yes. So that's quite interesting. That section has been renovated. The rest of the sections, as I said, inside the museum. You wait something. Wonderful structure. This is what we call a tetrapylon. What it means basically is that it is 4 columns by 4 columns. And it is the main entry door of the city of Aphrodisias. So you have to imagine that the city walls actually continued like this to its left and to its right. And the structure, well, it's just very similar to what we saw in Ephesus yesterday. If you remember the Temple of Hadrian, triangle which is held together by the 2 columns on the outsides, and the arch in the middle, held by 2 columns on the inside. Times 4 makes it 16 columns. Now, if there is a color difference, this is because they weren't able to find all the pieces, so the missing pieces were made with cement. Now, right to the left of this, where you have those trees over there, that is the grave of the archaeologist, Mr. Kenan Erim, professor at the University of Chicago. So, if you like, we can go down these steps and enter into the city by the door.
Oh, lovely.
These columns that you see is typical Roman architecture. These rays with a 45-degree angle. The ancient Greek were not all the way in the back. And it's on the same axe as the entry door. And that's the temple of Aphrodite. So it's on the same line as the main entry door. Well, if you like, you can go through it, or you can go around it if you don't want to. You know.
Don't sneeze, anybody. Oh, big step.
These stones here,
They're all original. You see how they've been used through the years. Temple is over there.
Oh, right, very good. So this is just the
Entry.
It's just as you walk through the city, I suppose. That's the
yeah, that's a little gate, yeah.
We're gonna go off this road.
Go!
Oh, look, it's a motorway.
Yeah.
Not big.
So that's it then, Dennis, is it? That's it, like
That's it, yeah. That's all you get, I'm afraid.
a pile of bricks. Another Lego set.
Oh, it's a stone carrier. You know, once I asked the driver, you know, do you know where there is over here and over there?
It'd be lovely when it's
the way
finished.
you think about things. Now this is the stadium of Aphrodisias, and it is the biggest stadium that exists in Turkey. It's roughly about 2,100 years old. It is a Roman structure, and it's about 2 football fields large, and it can hold 36,000 people.
Wow.
So even today, in the modern times, 36,000 stadium is a big deal.
Yeah.
Who would you like to bet? So you had actual bookkeepers inside the stadium gambling. And this was secretly financed by the Roman aristocrats. So in that sense, frontier of the city, the wall continues over there. You can see it a little bit further, and it continues until the main door that we saw a little bit further.
But the arches, is that the wall?
Yeah, that's part of the wall. Yeah. You see, those arches existed behind you also. The reason why over here, where you could put a wooden stick also, and you would have a parasol inside the stadium.
So if you're the gladiator.
Depends where you're sitting.
It depends where you're sitting.
That's an extra expensive fee.
Yeah. Now, from time to time, as you might know, the gladiators didn't always fight each other. Sometimes they fought wild animals.
Yeah.
So, for that reason, that section was closed, basically, if there were any wild animals.
Well, they can.
Basically. Or the ancestor of it.
You can buy a plug
See
for
people
that.
skiing down it a bit.
Not anymore. Silk threads. As you might know, silk is the strongest material that exists in nature, and so they would make threads, of course, not very thin, quite large.
Oh, yeah.
And they would start to
That was right, yes.
and they would water it from time to time. And marble is like a vase, if you can think of it as it was built. And there's a hole here, and so it is similar to a baptism pool, perhaps the ancestor of a baptism pool, because at the time when you had this, when this was the Aphrodite temple, or the ancient Greek time and Roman periods, there would always be a basin like this one, and they would put leaves of flowers on the water, and basically people coming in to pray in the temple would use this water to clean their faces, to purify themselves before they enter into the temple. Now, the temple in front of us, the temple of Aphrodite, you can see that some of the columns have been put back together. But how was it built originally? Well, the technique that we know, that's Greek, and the name of Jesus is ichthus. Yes. And you can write it the way that it is written with the ancient Greek letters. Is an I and an X and a theta. And a Y and a sigma. Okay, so ichthus in ancient Greek. It at the same time it means a fish. Yeah. And yeah. And the thing is, the first Christians living here, and you'll have the I, and then you'll have the X. Take that out. And then you have the theta that goes all around like this and like that. And inside here you already have the Y, and you already have the sigma, which is like that.
Oh, yes.
And what you do is you just do like that, and like this, and like that. And you have the Orthodox cross.
Oh,
You know,
Excellent.
you know this as the Maltese
Yes.
cross.
Yeah.
Now,
Wonderful.
the reason why you know it as a Maltese cross is because after the Crusades, the Knights of St. John.
So you wouldn't know if I said there's a lovely set of hypercross tiles in there to be seen. Well, I'm going to have a look while I'm in here.
Now, Julie.
She knows about size.
Now, Julie.
This lady knows about size.
Yes, it's a bit small. Oh,
Ah.
we can't get in there.
Abi sakin ya. Bakarsın.
A very large restaurant catering for all the coaches. Breaking the
This
bread.
is the tea.
The
This
Turkish
is
tea.
Mm.
It tastes like English tea,
Quite
only without the
accustomed
milk.
to it. I'll be drinking tea with no milk when I get back.
Yeah. I'm nearly out of this film, so I'll have to just...
And what event happened today, Tom?
We had a little fall, didn't we? Both of us went down.
Yes.
But hopefully just a few grazes. And Linda, you were very shook up. What are you having?
Kebab.
Kebab, a nice chicken kebab. Yeah, nice chicken kebab. There we are, back in Dover. And the White Cliffs. There's calcium in the rocks, all natural. Very nice. A World Heritage Site. Oh, we have some little duckies. Oh, very nice. There you see it close up. All the natural calcium coming out the rocks. Beautiful. Kaybettiğim all the little shops selling their bits and pieces to make their money.
He's with them. He's got no money.
And if you look, you can see people, they walk along where the calcium is. There is a walking trail and they walk all the way along up the calcium.
Kendi arabamız var. Allah Allah.
Right up to the top they walk. Wow. You see someone in a hang glider right on top. They must catch the thermals up there, I expect. You can see one looks as if it's coming into land. Windsurfer. Hope he doesn't land in the road. and in the lake. It missed the tree. He's coming straight towards us. I think he's coming down now.
I haven't seen a single cloud today.
And the sunset's in the west.
The second one is in Ephesus, and the third one is here, Hierapolis. So the most known one is Pergamon. That's where you have it is called the Asclepion. The famous first doctor in history lived there, and one day actually he was a shepherd, and a snake bit him. So he went to the Asclepion. At that time, the Asclepion in those years was only dealing with mentally ill patients, and so they told him, well, there's nothing we can do for you, so you're going to die. So he was in pain, so he went back to the hills, and he found a few more snakes and poured their venom into a cup. And some story says he cooked it for a while, and then to commit suicide, he drank it, so he wouldn't have any more pain. But what happened is he healed, basically, and he went back to the Asclepion, and he said, well, you said that I was going to die, and I did this and this, and well, they said, well, then you should be a doctor here. And they took him in as a doctor, and well, you know, all the doctors that finished medical school, they take an oath. Do you remember the oath?
Yeah.
An oath?
Yeah.
But what is that called?
Hippocratic.
Hippocrates, yes. That shepherd's name is Hippocrates.
Ah.
And the symbol of the medicine is the cup, that cup with the snakes around it.
Yeah.
So when people first went to Pergamon, if they couldn't find a cure there, they went to Ephesus, and finally when they couldn't find a cure there, their final point was the spring waters of Pamukkale.
There's our hotel.
So here
and
we
next
are.
hotel. Very nice. Showing our lovely hotel room here. A little look out onto the balcony. And all the coaches waiting for the tourists to set off. We'll be setting off at 9 o'clock this morning. The late one this morning. But it was a bit dark when we arrived yesterday, so I couldn't see it. But here you've got all of the, in the background you can see all of the large mountains.
It's really nice.
In the past, as you might imagine, every civilization, when a king was buried, just like we saw in Dalian, they would be buried with all their treasures. And the treasure room of one king cracked. There was water that leaked in, and then afterwards it froze. So everything inside the room froze with it. And the Russian archaeologists, they found this grave and they defrosted it naturally, and there they found a carpet which is called pazirik. You can see it if you go to St. Petersburg one day. It's in the Hermitage Museum. And from the design and the way that the knots are made, we know that it is a Turkish carpet of a Turkish king. And it is
climbing the Taurus Mountains now.
He's the expert on the subject. That's what he told you. That's what he told you. Okay, good. How much did you pay? Nothing. At the moment, nothing. But later on, who knows? You never know. Never know. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Good morning and welcome in Turkey. Welcome in my country. My name is June 8th. Like June the 8th. Like the date, very easy to remember, ladies and gentlemen. And here in this place I would like to give you information about handmade Turkish carpets. And we are going to see different sections in the building, step by step. And I would like to start first with a nice gallery, a wonderful room where I have wonderful silk carpets hanging on the wall. These little silk of 2,500 years. And it was found in northern Siberia in the year 1947 in Petun, ladies and gentlemen. Look up Professor Rudenko, he was an archaeologist, a Russian archaeologist. He was not looking for the carpet, but he was looking in his tomb for several things. And under an ice plate, there was a nice carpet, like this one, made of sheep's wool. The age, as I told you, 2,500 years old. Interesting and very important for us, the way how the carpet was made is the same technique like what we do use nowadays. So it might be.
No artificial light and no spectacles.
Yeah, absolutely. Incredible.
Oh, that's lovely. I love that.
Yes, please, ladies and gentlemen, it's okay with that. If you want, you can join the weavers and try to make some knots after the carpet. So, if you do quite well, we have 3 looms. You can stay here also. Okay. So, my friends, if you don't mind, I would like to give you the technical details here on that loom, and then you can look around. But if you, as good as you can, if you come forward so you can get the better information. So what she is doing at the moment, she just completed a row of knots. After completing 1 row of these knots, they take a scissor, and with that scissor they trim the longer threads of the pipe. So we get overall in each carpet the same length of the pipe. The silk ones, if you have touched them on inside, is quite thin. But if the carpet is made with sheep's wool, the carpet's pile will be thicker. The more knots you do make in a square centimeter or square inch, whatever, the shorter will be the pile of the carpet. That's the reason why silk carpets have amazingly short pile. Because if you do make a pattern like that, very intricate pattern like this, thick pile, and you walk on the carpet, on each step you will see the design is going like that. That is the reason why silk carpets do have a very, very thin pile. If you notice carefully, she's trimming a lot of the silk. She has the material here, and about 2/3 of the material is waste. The waste material of the silk, or either or the wool ones, we do work again with that, but not for carpets. We sell this to different companies. They fill pillows or they fill toys with that as a fill material. It gets recycled in that way. Otherwise, it's too much waste. Now, the way how the carpet is made, she is doing the knots, but she's almost finished with that carpet. She's doing the last few lines of the wrap. They do follow a pattern like this. Every square millimeter on this pattern is a knot. So they do know where to put the right color in the right place. How these knots are made, I don't know how to get to the thicker. This is how I made. This is the fine silk. You can touch and feel it. It's very strong, ladies and gentlemen. Silk carpets are the strongest carpets you can produce. I mean, silk has a lifetime of about 300 years on the floor, not on the wall, on the floor when you walk on it, 300 years lifetime. Now, the way how the knots are made, by making each of the knots, they do take 2 of these vertical threads, which is the warp of the thread. She takes 2 of them, she knows exactly which 2 she has to take out, and they do make a loop around one. I try to show my fingers. And they do make another loop around the other one, like this. In that way, they pull them down, and then they cut them with their little knife, what they have in there. After she has done the root row, there is coming another thread across the carpet, which is the weft of the carpet. That separates the row from the next row. And before she makes the trimming process, they take an iron comb like this, and with that iron comb, they push down, they hit down the knots, make them very tight, they press them down, and after all this, they cut them with this scissor. So easy to tell. But it's amazing difficult to do. 10 sentences is enough to tell about making carpets, but it's amazing difficult to do. Now, time-wise, for example, for this size, this carpet will be in the size of 150 centimeters by 200 centimeters. This is about 3 square meters size. For this size, she does need about 2 years or 24 months, exactly 24 months time to complete this carpet by herself. This little baby carpet, ladies and gentlemen, is much, much smaller, but for that one you need at least 8 months of time. The reason, she is doing in a square centimeter 64 knots. She is doing in a square centimeter 122 knots. And that difference in the number of knots makes difference in the time. So sometimes people do think small size of carpet, small price. This is wrong. The size of the carpet is not the issue for the price of the carpet. The size is just the measurement of it. But they can be small, very big price. They can be very large, but they can have very small price according to the size. Very, very important. Please never ever judge handmade carpets by the size. It's just the time of work which gives the price range. Now, nobody will see that. I mean, believe me, if there is only one wrong knot, there's a mistake. It is made by hand. It's quite normal if there is some mistake in it. But if you do make the mistake in the same row many of them, and when you make the, for example, she's just doing one color by making this. It's very simple. But when you start with the pattern of the carpet and you do make orientation from that what you have done before, when you make 10 mistakes in a row, let's say, next row will be again 10 mistakes, the next one again 10 mistakes. So that means the design is going like this or like that. This is a mistake. Then you have to open. You have to open 10 rows, 5 rows, whatever the number is. You open all these rows and you rework them again. Otherwise, you see there is a mistake. But only one. Next group. But this lady will show us slowly how the knots are done. The gentleman was asking about that. Because I showed on my fingers that it was very quick and very fast. Ablacığım bize birkaç tane yavaş düğüm atma şansınız var mı? Okay, she will show us slowly. Look, because that is a wool carpet, so you can see it much better and easier. Look, again, two off the warp. Again, like my fingers. I try to show it here on my fingers one more time again. Like this, okay? Ah, it's actually like that. It's difficult for her to do slowly. The reason she's losing her rhythm. That's the reason.
How long does it take to train a lady up to do this?
About 2 years. But it depends again, ladies and gentlemen. I was talking with another lady about that with her, that it takes 2 years to learn. But according to their talent, ladies and gentlemen, it change. But at minimum, 2 years of time in reproduction. And this one is made wool on wool. So that means the warp is wool, the weft is wool, and the pile is wool. This one is done wool on cotton. The background is cotton, the knots are done with wool, and the other ones, they're all pure silk. But we have different combinations as well. I will tell you later.
The warp on the weft is also.
On that one is 100% warp, weft, and the pile made of 100% silk. On that one. It's good, it's very good, but it's one step down than the silk ones, price-wise. My friends, if you don't mind, can we go one next station? See the silk good. It's full in here, isn't it? Yeah, but it gets warm inside. Here is a nice warm. We eat here.
You want more fresh?
Oops. Please, my friends, please, you can touch, you can pass it forward to the others as well. And if you shake them, inside you can hear the voice. That is the silkworm inside. It's that. They're not alive. They're all dead, by the way.
Oh yeah, so.
Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you very short about the story of the silk production, the way how we get the silk from the cocoons. By the way, silk, ladies and gentlemen, as you do know, is coming from China. Originally, it comes from China. Also, it came from China to Turkey many centuries ago with the Silk Road. So we do produce our silk in Turkey. We are not buying silk from any other country. We have our cotton fields, especially on the south coast of Turkey. Also this area of Turkey. And we do have approximately 35 million sheep in Turkey. I don't know who count them, but it's written like that. So 35 million sheep we have. And we do have on the west coast of Turkey about 3,000 families which are growing silk in very big farms. And the silkworm which is inside, I would like to show you one of them if I can. Bir tane şey açabilir miyiz? Okay, because it's difficult to open them, it's very hard to open them. Look, that is, ladies and gentlemen, that is the silkworm which is inside. Not very handsome, not very beautiful, but they are doing amazing big job, ladies and gentlemen. Real very big job. I'll show you here as well, okay, please. Okay. They do not look very nice, I know that, but they taste good.
Chili sauce? Okay.
I mean, I did not try. It was just told by somebody else. I don't know. So, ladies and gentlemen, Anthony Burden, you know this guy? Who? Anthony Burden. He makes products. Yeah, he eats them. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, these silkworms, they eat the leaves from the mulberry trees. Yes. And the best mulberry trees, or the best climatical conditions to get mulberry trees in Turkey is the western coast. That is the reason why we do produce our silk in West Turkey. So the silkworm is eating the mulberry leaves about 4 weeks. They do come out from a little egg. The reason the silk is in the body of the animal in liquid form. So it comes out from the body, and what happens? It gets smaller, smaller, smaller, and finally 1 centimeter. I wish I could do the same. once a year would be enough, ladies and gentlemen. Once a year would be enough. Of silk, which goes around the cocoon. There is actually one single piece. I catched many of them, but there is one single continuous piece of filament which goes around of the cocoon in the length of 1,500 meters. In average, because they are in different sizes, but in average, 1,500 meters of silk in one of these cocoons. So when the butterfly, when the moth comes out, what happens? Like a chicken comes out from the egg, they make a hole, and they break the silk. So the silk is broken, and we cannot produce silk with that. The reason why we have to kill the silkworm is that. That's the reason why they are dead inside. We kill the silkworm with hot pressure air, with steam. They do not kill all of them. If you kill all of them, you have no other silk cocoons. So in one production, they take 70% for silk production, 30% they keep aside for the next generation. These are the lucky ones, by the way. So the silkworm, when it's in making silk in the whole world, the basic system is that what you will see now. So there is no machine for that, always done by hand. He boils the cocoon 1 hour in hot water. When they get boiled, they get soft. The saliva of the silkworm melt, and this helps us to find the beginning of the silk. It's like glue. He takes this high technology brush. That's his very magic tool, ladies and gentlemen. With this brush, he hit the cocoon, and the beginning of the silk thread will stick on the brush. Let's see how this is done. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want, you can touch it. What drops down is just water, ladies and gentlemen. This is the silk. That's raw silk now, 100%. It feels like spider's web. It feels actually like horsehair, ladies and gentlemen. It's not very soft. You know, silk is amazing soft, but this is quite hard. Also, the silk in here is very hard. Okay, this has to be washed later on, and after washing, it gets soft. It's just hot water, nothing, there's just hot water inside. And by the way, this hot water, ladies and gentlemen, when we complete the production, it gets recycled again later on. This we sell to the flowers industry, to the botanic industry, and they give it to the flowers, this water, because it's vitamin-full water, so no waste. It gets recycled that way. So when we have the silk beginning, ladies and gentlemen, you see this is the beginning part of the silk, but these filaments together. He's not counting, he has a feeling for that. He passes through the little ring, what we have here, many little rings. He passes it here through. From here it goes forward to the big wheel. This is like a spinning wheel. He turns the big wheel with his foot with the pedal, ladies and gentlemen, and when he turns the wheel, the silk comes out from the cocoon. And that is the way how we get the silk. Let's see how this is done. But he's cleaning the silk now. He's of course not doing the first time in his life, so it goes much easier. But this is now the clean part. Look, very clean, very, very even, ladies and gentlemen. And let's see how he's preparing one thread. That silk, this is the beginning that we sell to the textile industry. They make scarves with that. Second quality, third choice, for example. Look, you pass it through the ring. When it comes through that little wheel, it gets twisted, by the way. Okay. Now, he turns the wheel. And when he turns the wheel, the silk comes out from the cocoon. Do you see the ones which are jumping in the water? These are the ones which get unrolled from outside to inside. If you don't mind, please touch here and feel it.
Oh, very, very clever is that.
Yes. Open just your hands, sir, please, gentlemen. Please, just open your hand. Can you feel the vibration? They do break, of course. If you pull a bit harder, it will break. But it's not easy to break the silk at all. In Hellenistic time, I don't know if your guide could tell you about that, stone blocks, ladies and gentlemen, were cut with silk threads. So that shows us how strong the silk really is. It's amazing strong material. Today in the medicine, surgeries, inside stitches, they do make silk as well. It's very full body. It's not exactly silk, no problem. And it's not only good for silk carpets, it's made also for other things as well. And still good hair and everything, okay. But ladies and gentlemen, this is the way, what we do with the dead silkworms. Nothing is waste. Everything gets recycled again later on. And the silk thread, let's here. The silk thread, what we have here on the wheel, that's this one. If you please give this or pass this forward, also there. This is the one which is washed. This is unwashed. I mean, that's what I have here, yeah, when it's dry. And after the washing process, it gets soft, like this. I mean, like silk. Then you can feel it like silk when it's 1001 night design. Okay. And ladies and gentlemen, I would like just, it's like a church window. The silk is transparent. The light is going through, ladies and gentlemen. And this is a way, for example, if you do have a nice silk carpet hanging on the wall, you can do it like that.
We are now flying at 9,000 feet. Snow-capped mountain.
They're not snow-capped.
They're snow-capped mountains. What do you think now?
That's calcium stuff.
No. First cloudy day.
Do rain tomorrow, and tomorrow we're going to do the jewelry center, the leather center, and we will do those in the morning.
Must report on our lovely room.
What? Where are you?
Right, I'll just report on this lovely room. Lovely 5-star room. And we come through our lovely door. And we have a lovely bed. Now that seems perfectly adequate. And we have our own balcony. But, surprise, surprise, and our own television. But surprise, surprise, we also have a separate room with a separate television and separate balconies. So two balconies. This is rather plush. I don't know what this will cost in the UK. But, needless to say, this is the best room that we've had so far. But they've all been very nice. But yeah, should stop a few arguments. A very quick little carouse and pan around of the lovely hotel. Very nice. Best one we've had. Very lovely. Linda's just getting ready. 5-star. Wonderful. All that. Oh, very nice. It's like being on a ship. Huh, there we go. 160.
Tax. I'm afraid you guys are paying a lot of tax in your own country, especially on jewelry. Actually, not only on jewelry, on everything you pay for. But do you know how much are you paying in Turkey while you're being a tourist? Have you got any idea how many percentage? Exactly. You pay nothing as a tax in Turkey.
No, it's lovely, isn't it?
They're trying to sell me some jewellery, lots of money.
My fans.
At the moment.
I hired them yesterday. You think always that Turks or Muslims have four wives, but that's dangerous. Because 4 wives means also 4 mothers involved. Well, I died. That's my point. So,
I've got a real
as I said, this is a reversible jacket. There are separate pockets on each side. And
oh, yes. Oh, my.
Very good.
She said she'll see you next weekend.
show it to the others. The airbags. This one, depending on the size, weighs only 950 grams, so still below 1 kilo. $20 Don't start filming, don't start filming. Not yet, not yet. Wait a second.
How's your kebab, Linda?
Very nice, thank you. And they're just battening down
The hatches.
hatches
Yeah, we've
as
got
we
a
speak.
very strong wind coming in. Just had a couple of cracks of thunder. First bad day. But we're right in the centre of Anatolia. And waiting for the storm to come over. We have a little rain just to make us feel at home, and it's blowing the wind. Big wind.
Ben burada nelerini gördüm.
Now we like it. For me also, yeah. So from here to the hotel is about, from Antalya is about 60 miles. 60 miles. So it is in a place that is called Okurcalar, which is close to a city, Manavgat. On the map, well, it's towards the east of Antalya. Towards the east of Antalya. Now, during your stay in this hotel, well, as you know, you've already been booked as bed and breakfast, and so there are two options that are available. The first one is half board, which means you get the dinners in the hotel for the whole week, and that is 79 pounds. 79 pounds. And this, but just the dinners, that's all. The drinks are not included, nothing else. And the second option is all-inclusive, so full board, as we like to call it. It is the lunch, all the lunches in the hotel, all the dinners in the hotel, and all the drinks in the hotel, including alcohol and soft drinks and coffee and tea and so on and so forth. And that is 79 times 2, 158 pounds for the week. So those are the two options. And tomorrow we will leave the hotel at 10, and afterwards on the way we will have a break, and on that break there will be the accountants that are there. They will cash in the money. Yeah. So you can think about it, but if you ask me personally, I mean, around the hotel's name is Giustiniano. It's very nice. You'll enjoy it, I think. But one thing that I have to tell you, it's very important. In the room, there's a mini bar, and there's many things. And even in the bathroom, there is a toothbrush and things like that. Just take into consideration, it's very important, that outside the soap and the shampoo, everything is charged. So be careful when you're using them, except for the soap and much.
What about the water?
Toilet rolls included, yeah.
Oh, that's me over, like that.
9:30 for the tours if you want to enroll on the tours, and at 10 o'clock we'll be leaving for the transfer. Alright? I think it's clear for everybody. So this is the hotel just right next to us, on the left hand side. Yeah.
It's the White House. White House? Well, it's not, it's the Cream House.
Barack is waiting for you.
Linda's still in pain, her ribs are hurting where she had the fall. But we've got a lovely room right in the front. Who am I talking to? I'm talking to my video recorder. I'm just taking a lovely room. And the Turkish flag down there flying away. Very nice. And apparently it's not a moon. It is actually a sun. It is the eclipse of the sun via the moon, and the little star represents when the moon comes out of the eclipse, and you just get a little star of light appearing. Also the crescent represents the doors to heaven. So it's supposed to be as the doors of heaven appear just after you die. And you see the outside of the foyer. After the rain we had last night, it's all nice and bright. I'm talking on the video. It's the foyer. We're on the second floor. Very nice. And everything looks so green and lovely. And the mountains in the background. Very nice. Just ready to go down to breakfast. Close this up. It's raining a little bit, isn't it? Then? A little video of our lovely room. This is our last hotel room that we'll be staying in. We've got this for 7 days, so you can see it's a rather not very nice at all, really. Terrible room. Only two what are they called? Chandeliers? No, they're not chandeliers. What are they, Lynn? Chandeliers. Chandeliers. A chaise lounge. Even better. And come out onto our rather nice little... You see the weather's not too bright at the moment, but forecast is great. And we do have quite a nice panorama. Hello. Quite a nice panorama coming round. And even incorporates the pool. Very nice. Just have a little look at the sunset. Wow. This is nice. That's just the evening of our first day in this hotel. It's rather gorgeous. Having in the swimming pool. A few brave souls venturing along the beach. This is a private beach just for this hotel. Wow, this hotel and one next to it. That's nice. Right, so this is our first full day here at this lovely hotel, Justinio, and it's like a beach resort. I'll just go around the grounds. That's our room and balcony right there, so you can see it has a lovely view, and because it's south-facing it gets the sun all the time. That's our hotel, and it leads down to the beach. Still got a lot of work to do to finish it, but still very pleasant. You can just see these snow-capped mountains in the background. But I would think the temperature at the moment must be about 22. That's our hotel up there. Our hotel. Let's just follow the yellow brick road time back to the hotel. It's just a different route. Our hotel in the background. This is a rather intriguing little canvas structure that I would imagine they might have. Oh, maybe it's just a... Oh no, I should think they probably have something going on here. Justinio Resort. This is our hotel. And the outdoor pool. No sunbeds taken as yet, but give it time. This is coming back the posh route, avoiding the building site. Our little golf trolley they use for taking us up the bank or whatever. Our restaurant outside now. Very nice. Lovely toilets. And our lifts. This is a foyer. It's also where our room's located. Just around the corner. Through here. the O1 room. Back to our room. Very nice. Oh. Hello, Linda. Linda's having a suntan and a Iraqi from on our veranda, and it's another lovely day.
Right.
I'll have the Iraqi in my hand.
Yeah. So here we are in Turkey, and Tom is drinking raki, which he seems to like, and the weather is really lovely. As I pan across, you can see a little bit more.
Over to the building site.
There we are. Okay, that's it.
With the song Only the Lonely, the song that everybody knows.
Only the lonely, the way I feel tonight. Only the lonely, know this feeling ain't right. There goes my baby, there goes my heart, they're going forever, so far apart, but only the lonely know why I try. Only the lonely. Only the lonely know the heartaches I've been through. Only the lonely know I cried over you. Maybe tomorrow a new romance, no more sorrow. You've got to take if you're alone on the train.
Here's Linda, the wounded soldier, back from the front, or back to front, I'm not sure which. But you can see here, she has serious leg injuries. Only a 50-50 chance of regaining use of the limb, or amputation may have to take place.
Funny Tom.
Right. Okie dokie. So come on then, let's have a brief synopsis.
No, I don't want to talk to you.
We have been to hospital. Linda has been x-rayed and she has a broken bone in her foot, or a cracked bone in her foot. So she's supposed to be off of her feet for 2 weeks on those which she can't use. because she's got pain in her arms because she fell on the side, but they don't seem to take that into account somehow. This is just the other side of where our hotel is. And rough coastline. Rather nice. And it's like a track that goes all around the headland. Oh, nice trees. A few old ruins here, apart from myself. Rather pretty. There you can see our hotel in the distance. I'm just making my way back now along the headland and then up that little path back to our little room, which is with Linda in it, right in there. And a bit out of focus, she's in there. Now I'm back to the beach. Our hotel there. Just started raining again a little bit. It's a shame, the last 2 days has been a little bit of rain. Big boulder there. Like a cave.